Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Coast Legal Aid. I am Geraldine DiBianchi. I am the Mobile Justice Squad attorney in the Senior Law Project at Coast Legal Aid. Joining me today, co-hosting, is my colleague, David Johnson. He is the Equal Justice Works Fellow in our Senior Law Project, Senior Law Unit. And today, we are joined by Gina Maggio. She is the Senior Program Specialist at Cooper City. Today, we have an audience of, yes, our Coast to Coast audience, but as well as our active adult program at Cooper City. We're excited that they will all be joining us today. We're going to give a presentation on what David and I often see and do in the Senior Law Unit at Coast to Coast. And Gina's going to tell us a little bit about herself, what she does at Cooper City, and what they offer the seniors. Thank you for joining us, Gina.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for having me. So again, my name is Gina Maggio. I am the Adult Program Specialist here with the City of Cooper City within the Recreation Department. And I coordinate all kinds of adult programming for our senior community. And we do everything from presentations to having guest speakers. We do daily activities in-house. Not yet, but we're planning on getting back to it. So we're really excited about moving forward and moving out of this stage and getting back to some sort of normalcy. So we have everything from social groups and gatherings to day trips and outings. There's also opportunities for senior fitness, and as well as just overall wellness is what we try to promote here to stay active and healthy, and of course, inform and empower the community with some great resources and information. And we're so thankful to have you present for us.
Well, we're really happy to be here. And we've spoken before in the past. How many people are included in your group? Do you have a large group of seniors in your community that really participate?
Well, pre-COVID, we did. We had a great population of our regular participants. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, the world, so to speak, kind of stopped. Sure. And we were able to still maintain relationships with them by the means of outreach and just providing them, again, with resources. We did our food distribution and home deliveries. Periodically, we would go by and do drop-off packets of information, of ongoing things, that presentations on Zoom. So it's been a little bit of a challenge. The technology barrier there, so to speak, has been an issue, but we're working through it. We offered technology classes over the course of COVID so that we can learn to stay connected. And then again, we did a couple of drive-through events. So we held our drive-through ice cream social for Grandparents' Day. And we put together little take-home ice cream kits that they were able to come through, pick up, and go home and enjoy with their family. Right. We also did a couple of drive-bys where we were able to drop off some care packages for some certain holidays to kind of combat that social isolation and just still keep that connection there going. And then, of course, as you know, we held our first ever virtual senior expo, right. And that was great. That was a really great day of just getting together and connecting again in a different means, but still being able to provide that information and resource to the community.
Yeah, I was really happy to participate in that. And I'm assuming it's still up on your YouTube channel? Is that where it is?
It is. And yeah, it's on our website.
A lot of valuable resources on there. And just a fun fact, Gina and I kind of bumped into each other with the outreach that you do for our community in Cooper City. We had a client who was isolated, and I had called you up to see what services you had, and Gina informed me that they even have a weekly or bi-weekly check-in for the seniors, a simple phone call for those who, you know, don't generally get somebody to check on them. So
yes, absolutely. We provided reassurance phone calls for them. A lot of that has ceased a little bit. We've cut back on the phone calls. And in fact, now as we're moving forward back into programming, a lot of that is not as regular, but of course the lines are always still there and they're able to call as needed with any question that they might have, if not for themselves, for a neighbor. It's just been really great because you've seen the community, as we know, come together, and everyone's just kind of looking out for each other, and it's been amazing. So
Really,
our vulnerable population registry, which would typically, we would just utilize during storm season, and in the event that a storm would be approaching, we were able to maintain regular communication with them. So we really got to know them really well. And again, just popping over and dropping off a box of food donated from Feeding South Florida, it made a world of a difference for so many people.
oh, it really does. It makes a huge difference, a simple act making a huge difference. So
Yes.
Thank you for doing that. We really appreciate it. And one more thing that we have talked about, I know that you have a shared facility with the young people where you're going to be doing summer camp,
Yes.
but as soon as those kids are back in school, I understand that you're going to be opening your facility back up and the seniors will be coming in, which puts me, the mobile justice van,
Yes.
right there to come
Yes, we're
in
very
person
excited
and
about
speak to
that.
the seniors. We're really looking forward to that.
Absolutely.
I know everybody is.
So
Yeah.
we have a tentative start date, August 23rd. We're expecting to have our doors back open. We've been open for business. It's just we haven't had any in-house face-to-face programming. So we're really excited about getting back to our normal schedule, having a monthly calendar produced with activities that, you know, we can have the presence and hear the voices and see the faces on a regular basis. So I will be calling you very shortly to start scheduling maybe for September.
I can't wait because we've scheduled quite a few already for the same purposes that will be with you, is finally senior centers, community centers are opening back up, and the seniors have missed it. I mean, we've all missed the world, so I'm happy to be going back. So with that, David, are you ready for me to jump into my portion?
Sure.
I'm going to talk about what Mobile Justice Squad does, where we go, what we offer. And then David, I'll let him give his background on himself, but David is an important tool in our senior toolkit, where he is our Equal Justice Works Fellow, and he protects our vulnerable adults within the parameters of the law when it comes to scams, abuse, exploitation. And he has such a great grasp on that. And I'm gonna, you want to give your little background now, David, and then I'll give my talk, or?
How about I give it when I start? So.
Okay, that sounds good to me. Sounds good. Before I get started, I just want to let all my Cooper Cityites out there know that I'm not just sitting here as a Mobile Justice Squad attorney, but as a fellow resident of Cooper City. So it means a lot to me. It does, as a Cooper City Elementary, Pioneer Middle School, and Cooper City High School graduate. It really, you know, it brings it all full circle, where what gave so much to me, I could give back to this community as well.
Great. That means a lot.
Well, thank you so much. So I'm going to share my screen so we could take a little look at the Mobile Justice Squad and what we do. So let me put my technology use to the test here. Here we go. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Let's get this. Can you see it? Here we go. Can everybody see my screen?
I see it.
Okay. So the Mobile Justice Squad, who we are, what we do, and where we go. So we are the Mobile Justice Squad of Coast to Coast Legal Aid of South Florida, and we're located right here in Broward County on 441. Who we serve? Well, the Mobile Justice Squad is part of Coast to Coast Legal Aid's Senior Law Unit. We serve seniors 60 and older who are residents of Broward County. For the Mobile Justice Squad to serve our particular clients, the seniors must be both 60 or older, residents of Broward County, and either be homebound disabled, or face challenges with transportation. Hence the reason for the Mobile Justice Squad. We come to the client. We bring them a full law office. What do we do? So what do we do? Every aspect of the senior law unit, the areas of law that we cover are covered by the Mobile Justice Squad. So that includes housing, which encompasses landlord-tenant, public and subsidized housing, and eviction defense. Health and public benefits, which includes food stamps, long-term care, Medicare, Medicaid, HMOs, Social Security, and the like. Consumer, with consumer, we mean foreclosure defense, advice on bankruptcy as an option for debt relief or to save your home, advice on debt collection, including medical bills and credit cards, defense against garnishment of Social Security and wages, and advice on scams and fraud. We also assist in the naturalization area when it comes to applying for citizenship to qualify for public benefits. Finally, we also help with abuse and exploitation. This is where David comes in, representing seniors regarding exploitation by a family member and those who are victims of domestic violence. Additionally, what we also provide is assistance to the caregivers of the seniors. And that caregiver needs to be 18 years of age or older, caring for the senior who meets the frailty requirement under the DOEA guidelines. We also represent the grandparents who are the primary relative caregivers who are 55 and older, who have a minor residing in the home. So we really try to reach out to every area of the senior community that is in need, and again, who falls within the parameters and guidelines of the Mobile Justice Squad. So where do we go? We go everywhere in Broward County. All the seniors centers in Broward County, every city and town in Broward County. We go to community center. What we do is, and what we will do more so now that, we're phasing ourselves into a more post-vaccinated world, and COVID, yes, it's a significant concern and will continue to be, and the health and safety of our seniors is always our primary concern. We are now able to at least schedule in-person presentations, or what we call Mobile Justice Squad van pop-ups, where we'll park the van in the parking lot outside of community centers and adult centers, and for the day or for a scheduled few hours, where the seniors could come out and have individual consultations with the attorney, so that they don't have to, because of their either transportation or mobility disability issues, are homebound and the van comes to them. So that's also at ALF and nursing homes. And as I stated, due to COVID-19, we've not been able to enter these locations. But as they're beginning to open up more, we're again being able to service our seniors and provide the important areas of the law that they've not been able to access either from home or from the senior centers that they're transported to. So you'll be able to see how we will, at this point, be able to service the seniors from the van, and with the COVID pandemic, how we've done so. So here's our van, very, nicely wrapped in our logo. But more importantly, it is a fully equipped law office on wheels. And what we've done is the side of the van that opens up, it is fully plexiglassed. And you'll see we've put in a banker's drawer. So there's absolutely no contact with the senior. So we've protected the senior and the attorney, and everything is done with safety and health at the forefront. And what's inside the van? Everything we need. It would be as if we took the law office directly to the senior so they don't have to come to us because of their own challenges. Inside, we have electricity and internet via hotspot, computer, printer, copier, scanner, every necessary office supply, and as you can see, a desk and a chair. So what this does is a lot of our senior needs, and especially legal needs, are very time sensitive. So oftentimes we may not get a call until a day or two before something is due. Everything gets copied, scanned, notarized, signed, and faxed right on the spot. So the seniors' needs are taken care of and their anxiety levels go down as a result because they don't have that deadline weighing over them. And if you saw the areas of law that I discussed previously, whether it's foreclosures and evictions, that timeline gets really tight at some point. And it's important for us to get to the seniors as soon as possible and get everything taken care of so that, you know, we protect them, and our priority is to keep them in their homes. And this is a little bit more view of the office. You could see the desk right there, and you'll see this is where the plexiglass is. The drawer comes through here. So absolutely no contact whatsoever, which makes it really safe for both, again, the senior client and the attorney. We've been seen in the news, both at the L3, at the local, state, and national level for the work that we've done. And please go to our Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, and you'll be able to see everywhere we've gone, what we do, articles that have been written on us. And it's a nice way to get acquainted with not just the Mobile Justice Squad, but Coast to Coast Legal Aid overall. We are proudly and very graciously funded by the American Bar Endowment and the Jim Moran Foundation. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. So we're very lucky to have them supporting us. And in order to get in touch with Coast to Coast Legal Aid and specifically the Mobile Justice Squad, this is the phone number, 954-736-2489, and the direct email, mobilejusticesquad@legalaid.org. So we look forward to seeing you on the road, seeing you at your community center, and seeing you wherever you're in need of us. Again, 60 and older, a resident of Broward County, homebound, disabled, or facing challenges with transportation, fitting within the areas of law that we cover, this van will be in your parking lot or driveway for you. I am now going to turn this over to David. I'm going to unshare my screen and let David take over, and he's going to give you his background and the valuable work he does for us at Coast to Coast Legal Aid. Thank you, David.
Thank you, Geraldine.
You're welcome.
So for those of you out there, hello, my name is David Johnson. I am the Equal Justice Works Fellow at the Senior Law Project at Coast to Coast Legal Aid in the Senior Law Unit. I primarily work, or not primarily, I exclusively work with senior victims of crime. I am pretty much the primary point of contact for seniors who are maybe in a living situation that is abusive, or if they're having some sort of issue with a neighbor that requires legal intervention. I also work a lot with seniors who have been victims of scams or fraud. Typically, those are the largest, the two largest things, either living situations or victims of scam or fraud. I was asked to expand a little bit on that second part, scams and fraud. It is definitely one of the most common things to see amongst seniors in Broward County, is that there are thousands of ways of different names of different scams that get run on unsuspecting seniors and everybody else, really. It's not exclusively a senior problem, but we do want to pay special attention to seniors getting scammed just because they are typically more vulnerable to scams. They are also more targeted for scams. There are a lot of different kinds out there. They can take any shape and size, from your basic wire fraud scam, which is somebody contacts you saying, I'll send you a lot of money, but I need you to send me a little bit of money first, and then I'll send you that money. Well, you send them the money and they never do anything, and you're out that money. Or or they do send you a check, but then when you cash the check, they're also figuring out your bank account information and then using it to clean out your bank account. There are fake company scams. For example, during the pandemic, there have been scammers out there posing as Publishers Clearinghouse, which everyone who has watched, Price is Right during the day will see their commercials. They're the people that come and give away the big checks to people, and oh well, since it's the pandemic, they haven't been doing that. Well, that's because you're right, they haven't been doing that, but also they haven't changed the way they do anything. They just haven't been handing out giant checks. They will, for example, Publishers Clearinghouse only, will show up at your house to give you a prize. They will not contact you via phone or email saying, hey, you won a prize, you need to send us some money for tax purposes, blah, blah, blah. That is always and 100% a scam, especially if they're claiming to be a Publishers Clearinghouse. Typically, people ask a lot about, what are the telltale signs of a scam? Primarily, I could probably boil it down to 2 or 3 things. One is generally scams offer, will offer this, I will send you a lot of money if you send me a little bit of money. That's a usual telltale sign. No one actually, if someone wanted to send you money, they just send you money. They wouldn't ask for money up front first. Another telltale sign of a scam is if someone is asking for payment in some unusual way that isn't cash. If they want, cashier's checks, certified funds, or, gift cards also. Gift cards is a major red flag. If someone asks you to pay them in gift cards, you turn the other way and never speak to them again, because that is definitely a sign that they are hoping to get payment in some way that is more difficult to trace than typical, bank account, wire transfers or anything like that. They are trying to get money that isn't really traceable by law enforcement. And I think the third thing that is the telltale sign of scams is scams almost always create a false sense of urgency. No matter what it is, typically scammers are trying to get you to not think about it too much, and instead create some sort of fake emergency or reason why they need money right now, or why you need to give them money right now, because otherwise you're going to be in trouble. And that is something that is always going to, what that does is it attempts to kind of short circuit your brain into thinking, well, I'm not going to think about this any deeper. And if I do start to think about it any deeper, I realize it doesn't make sense. Why is someone needing money this quickly? Every other company that you pay a bill to won't immediately shut off your services the first day after you don't pay your bill. People will wait to get money from you. Your credit card company is certainly going to be patient in getting money from you until you owe them enough. So think about it like that. Well, if other companies are willing to wait for me to pay them, why isn't this person willing to wait? Typically, it's because they just don't want you to think too hard about it. They want you to react instead of think. And when you react, you send them money, and then that money is gone. A lot of people ask, well, what happens if I get scammed? And the unfortunate part about that is if you are scammed, the chances of you recovering your lost property are very, very low. If you send someone $10,000, there's a good chance by the end of the day that person has already done something with that $10,000. They've sent it to a different account, or they've spent it, or whatever they've done with it. There's a good chance you're never going to be able to get that money back. Scammers do not wait around with the money, that they just stole from you just in case, you ask for it back. That's not something that really happens. A specific kind of fraud that has been going around that I think merits a bit of special consideration, at least today, is title theft, which is scammers will record a fraudulent deed to your home that will transfer the title to them. This is something that is actually shockingly easy for scammers to pull off. All they really need is two witnesses and a notary signature and to forge a signature, and then they submit that, and with the property appraiser or the county, they record that in the county logs, and that's essentially all they really need to do to claim ownership of the home. Recently, Broward County has instituted a new program called Owner Alert, which I would recommend. If you own a home in Broward County, you definitely should sign up for it. Owner Alert, essentially, you sign up for it and they will notify you immediately whenever there is any change in the ownership status of your house from their end. Again, that is something where a lot of times people will not realize they have lost ownership of their homes until people are already selling their home out from underneath them. Owner Alert will help with that. They won't, if they notify you that, hey, your house is, changed ownership status, what you need to do immediately is contact law enforcement, contact an attorney. You can talk to us, you can hire a private attorney to help you with that, and we will try to intervene, not let anything be done with that house. It's called quiet title is the name of the action that we do to essentially tell the court, listen, the ownership of this home is in dispute. We believe this deed is fraudulent. This house can't be sold right now, because if the house gets sold and then somebody else owns the home, and it becomes even more entangled into determining who is the true owner of the home. There are other ways that scammers do try to get title to a home. They will attempt to, for example, get power of attorney. Power of attorney is usually used in situations where, a lot of seniors know if they are, undergoing, if they have a hospital visit, if they're going to be incapacitated for some reason, not able to make important decisions like that, they have someone else that they assign to make those decisions for them. However, if that person that they assign the power of attorney to is untrustworthy, that can lead to some major problems. So first, if you are ever going to sign a power of attorney, you need to be very sure that you trust the person who you are signing power of attorney to. A lot of people will try to get power of attorney after only a month or two within meeting a senior. Scammers, that is a common scam they do. They will ingratiate themselves. They will hang out at senior centers, at hospitals, a VA hospital, for example. They will try to find vulnerable people, befriend them, and then gain their trust, and then gain the power of attorney. And once they have the power of attorney, it is very difficult to undo what they've done. If you suspect that, someone has obtained power of attorney, you need to contact us immediately or contact an attorney. Have the power of attorney revoked. Geraldine and I have done that for people where we have collaborated together to, get a client out from underneath the power of attorney that was being abused. We are still in the process, months later, of trying to untangle everything the abuser did with the power of attorney. They, obtained title to the home, they took the cars, they started doing renovations on the home, they cleaned out bank accounts, and it's very difficult to put all of that stuff back together. It's, trying to clean up broken glass, essentially. It's that difficult. You have to really scour through everything. It takes a long time, you know, and there's a good chance even after all that time gets taken, you still may not be able to recover everything, because there is, like I said, with the scammers before, there's a good chance that whoever is scamming you isn't holding on to that money they've taken from you, or they aren't holding on to that property they've taken from you. They're trying to cash out themselves. And, if you've caught them and they don't have any money left to pay you back, that's a terrible situation. You don't really have any way to get that money back. There's no money out there that's going to get given to you just because you got scammed. So the surest way to protect yourself from scams is just preparation, prevention, and a healthy dose of skepticism. If people come to you offering to give you money, be a bit skeptical about that, because obviously that's too good to be true. Now, if there are things like government programs or community programs that you're signing up for that maybe offer you some rental assistance for low income, or food stamps or things like that, obviously I'm not saying that's someone trying to scam you. What I'm more mentioning is people who promise to give you cash, or also another one is if your home is in foreclosure. A foreclosure rescue scam is another common attempt to obtain title to your home. These are people that will say, listen, we will pay off your mortgage, we'll bring you back to current on your mortgage. In exchange, we want half your house. And people are desperate, people want to stay in their home, so they think, okay, well, it's not the best deal, but at least it keeps me in my home. And then it turns into something much, much worse. Once they have half your house, it's not a big step for them to take all of your house. And then it's also not a big step to say, also, by the way, you still owe us the cash that we paid to get your mortgage current. So suddenly you're out your entire home. It's just as if you got foreclosed upon. And even then they may try to stick you with a lien on your property, where you can't, even if your home gets foreclosed upon again, you still, they're still going to say, we still get X amount of money, $25,000 that you still owe us from when we rescued you from foreclosure. So as I said, scams is unfortunately a very nasty business. There is not a very clean and efficient way to untangle yourself from a scam to fix, being a victim of a scam. If you are the victim of a scam, my first advice is to not let embarrassment stop you from talking about it and doing what you need to do to begin that process of trying to recover from it. I have seen a lot of people who are getting scammed and will do anything in their power to not admit it, because it is embarrassing for people to admit, yes, I got conned out of a significant amount of money. I don't want to admit it. I think my family might be upset with me. I'm upset with myself. And that is something that a lot of victims have to deal with. But I think, if I were to give them advice, that is something that happens to everybody. Eventually, everyone makes mistakes. Scams are designed to trick you. There's a lot of effort that goes into separating someone from their money. And, just because it worked on you, well, yeah, it's designed to. There are scams out there where people get a phone call from what they think, what they're told is a grandchild, that somebody is in trouble and needs money immediately. So, you want to be a good person, you want to get your grandchild out of trouble, so you may send these people, $10,000, because that's what you told you had to do to get your kid out of trouble. And it turns out that never happened. That wasn't your grandchild on the phone. It was all fake. But Of course, a lot of people don't have time to think about, well, I don't know, was that actually my grandkid's voice on the phone or not? So it is a very scary thing to be a victim of a scam because, you know, it's a difficult thing to cope with, realizing that, you know, someone's tricked you, someone's kind of violated your privacy by obtaining personal information in your property that you really, you know, weren't thinking about before. So I guess to wrap it all up, what I would say is please exercise a healthy dose of skepticism when people are contacting you out of the blue for things you might not be familiar with. Um, Nowadays, we're getting robocalls left and right. If it's a phone number you don't recognize, if you get a phone call and it sounds like a robotic voice on the other end, if you're being asked about your car's extended warranty and you don't know if you have an extended warranty on your car, you probably don't. You know, and you know, if it's something you're really unsure about, ask people around you, ask other people. You know, you don't need to come talk to a lawyer. You can come talk to a close friend. You can talk to, you know, a family member about it, anything that you may have at your disposal. Use the people around you, you know, to say, hey, does this sound weird to you? Somebody's offering me this and I'm not sure if it's legitimate. Chances are, if you kind of talk through it with somebody long enough and it's not legitimate, the two of you can probably figure it out pretty quickly. So to everyone out there in Cooper City, you know, stay safe, stay alert, sign up for Owner Alert if you own a home. You can go to call the Broward County Property Appraiser's office. We really, really don't want to deal with title theft. It is a very sticky situation. It's very, you know, it can take years to untangle. Especially with a quiet title action. It can be expensive litigation. You're going to have to hire a handwriting expert to try to prove that that the signature on the deed isn't yours. You're going to have to find several different ways to, you know, to pay for all of this, and that's also, you know, the cost of paying a lawyer. That isn't us, at least. You know, legal aid, we don't charge for anything. But if you're hiring a private attorney, you're going to have to pay them to deal with it as well. So Geraldine, thank you very much. And I hope that, you know, hopefully you don't come to see me very soon because that means bad things have happened. But, you know, at least I'm out here and I'm available to help if you need me.
Thank you so much, David. That's very valuable information. I think summed up with an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure here.
That was great.
And David said a lot, so I won't in any way add to it, but I will say that everything David said is not a hypothetical. These are stories that he's telling based on his experience of clients that he has run into in his practice that we've gone over and over and over with him in terms of trying to get everything taken care of for our seniors. So thank you, David. Very, very important for our seniors and everybody to be aware of what's out there and what can be prevented in terms of helping yourself and protecting yourself. And Gina, thank you so much for joining us and all of the members of the Cooper City Active Adult Program.
I did have one question.
Please, please.
So I know David mentioned that if you feel that you've been a victim of or that you're being scammed, is there a number or a hotline also that you can call and report? Because the ones that we hear of most often, of course, is that I forget what they call it, something, but it's the one that's referenced from the grandchild calling the grandparent.
Yeah, grandchild scam, something like that.
Yes, the extended warranty, the Social Security one, and then of course the titles and the deeds to the homes. So is there a hotline or is there a way that they can report this other than if they're realizing that, yes, 100% someone asked me to send the money, I just gave them my bank account, or they're realizing on a statement that something has occurred, they would call law enforcement. But is there a way that they can access information as far as what is currently happening as the trending scams and also how to report something?
Great question. So as far as for news about trending scams in the area, local scams, the AARP is a great resource for that. They tend to keep kind of a running bulletin board of scams. They have a map of scams that get reported in your area that you can look up by zip code, so you can see what scams are getting run in Broward County. They also tend to write articles updating people on new kinds of scams that they see. If you believe you've been the victim of a scam, you can contact the Federal Trade Commission. Typically, they are the ones that will, that can handle it. They have a hotline. It is 1-877-FTC-HELP. Just to remember that, 1-877-FTC-HELP. That's 382-4357. Yeah, and also, of course, contact your local police department. Getting a police report is helpful, especially if you're maybe worried about, fraudulent charges on your bank account, for example. Having a police report helps a lot with that. So you can go to your bank, say, listen, I've been a victim of fraud here. Someone has my credit card or something like that.
The other one that they tend to get really nervous about is the Microsoft, that you need to upgrade. You have to do it again, the urgency, you have to do it now,
Right.
or you're going to lose all your information. And yes, they get very nervous. And I've had a few that have just called completely frantic, in the sense that, they did it because, again, they were afraid of losing access to their information. But then when they talked to their adult child, who then was telling them that was a scam, why did you do that? And they feel shameful, in the sense. So, I mean, this is what our world is right now. And it's very scary. The uncertainty of who do I trust? How much of it's real? What do I do? So the fact that they can access you for that information is great. This is just awesome info.
Yeah, again, just to kind of expand on that point, they typically try to target things that they believe you're not already aware of, or that things that you're not thinking about. Your car's extended warranty. So many people wouldn't be able to tell you if they had an extended warranty or not. It's not something they thought about very much. Or, especially with seniors and things that are computer based. Obviously seniors aren't the most technologically advanced section of the population. No offense, but typically, you emails, things of that information, getting a call from Microsoft saying we're about to delete the contents of your computer unless you pay us more money right now. Yeah, you've got valuable information. Of course, you want to protect that. But again, people who are trying to get you to part with your money as soon as possible will create that sense of urgency. And that's something where, if you feel like you're being pushed into give up money for something that you really weren't aware of before you picked up the phone, then that is something you need to take a pause. Even if, the worst, one of the things I would say, when in doubt, hang up the phone. Just hang up the phone. If it's something that's actually important, they'll call you back.
Yeah.
But if you start to get a feeling of, I'm not sure, I'm doubtful, it seems important, and I really don't want this to happen, hang up the phone. The worst thing that can happen is that they'll call you back a day later or two. If it's legitimate, they really do need your money. If you really do need to pay a bill, they'll call you back and get that money.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Thanks, David. Good resources too. Any other questions, Gina?
I don't think so.
Well, thank you again. We really look forward to spending time with you on a regular basis.
Yes.
And anybody that's in need of coast to coast assistance on what David spoke about, or anything, any of the areas that I told you that we cover, you can call us at our intake numbers, 954-736-2496 or 736-2450. You can always go to our website at Coast to Coast Legal Aid of South Florida. There's an online intake as well for anybody who would like to do that. Thank you again to Gina Maggio from Cooper City for bringing your group to us today and allowing us to share what we do with you. David, thanks for co-hosting with me and really giving great information, insight, and real smart prevention tips to seniors and everyone out there. We appreciate that. And please, everybody, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube at Coast to Coast Legal Aid of South Florida. And we look forward to seeing you every Thursday at noon at Legal Learning, and on Fridays with Friends at noon on our Facebook page. Everybody stay well and have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, David. Thank you, Geraldine.